Happy New Year, everyone. It is 2017. Welcome to the third episode of Creative Legends. I'm Jackson Thomas, Jackson K. Thomas on Instagram. And this week, or this past week, I finally got to interview Dean Tucker. We've been working on it for a while. Dean, thank you for your patience on this. And he is a phenomenal photographer, vlogger, filmmaker from South Africa, or specifically Cape Town. And he's really changing up the game down there. His photos are fantastic, very magical as I would describe them, and it was a pleasure to interview him this week. So I was in a coffee shop while I did this audio recording, so there's a little bit of background noise when I'm talking, and then he actually was gracious enough to film it at his house in Cape Town. So we have footage of him answering the questions, so the audio is perfect. Dean, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy this. Please enjoy this interview with Dean Tucker, or visualrev, by the way. visualrev on Instagram, that's his Instagram handle. So please enjoy. Dean, welcome to the show, man.
How's it going, man?
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. So let's just start off. Give some people who maybe don't know who you are, don't follow you as much, give them a background, maybe where you grew up, what you got into, what got you into photography. Let's start there.
Okay, well, hello everyone. My name is Dean Tucker, aka visualrev on Instagram and YouTube. I am a content creator from Cape Town, South Africa. I've grown up here my whole life, but my journey, let's say, in social media and photography and video and all that kind of stuff only started when I finished high school. So I was about 18 years old, and my friend asked me to go on an Insta meet with him, and at the time I had no idea what this was, but I went along with it anyway just to see how it went. And pretty much from then I didn't stop taking photos. Every single week from then I've been taking photos, making videos, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I can see your face now. And
there it is.
Yeah, it's just carried on from there, and I enjoy the love of going out and doing these things more than the followers and the likes and all that kind of stuff. So for those of you that don't know as well, I have a YouTube channel as well where I make a series called The Weekend Venture. Also been experimenting with daily vlogging a bit, just trying to get out there and do as much adventuring as I can, trying to inspire other people to get out the house and actually do something positive with their life. And yeah, that's pretty much that, I guess.
That's legendary, dude. I love it. I love it. So you've grown up in South Africa your whole life, or Cape Town? Is that where you're at?
Yes, in Cape Town.
Is that right? So how do you feel that Cape Town has really shaped your photography, in the sense that, you know, maybe if you'd grown up in a city, it'd be more urban?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel like it's really kind of morphed that?
I think Cape Town is very much suited to the landscape, travel, adventure kind of style of photography. Obviously, our city isn't that big compared to the likes of New York and Tokyo and all those kind of places. So I think most people gravitate towards going to the more adventure landscape kind of photography, just because of the scenery that we have, and also how accessible it is compared to most other cities. I mean, we have the mountain, Table Mountain. I'm sure you've seen some pictures of Table Mountain, or heard about it at least. It's literally right next to our city. It takes me 20 minutes from my house. I'm in the suburbs. It takes me 20 minutes to get there. So it's just, everything is so accessible and so easy to do here in terms of those things. We don't have to drive thousands of kilometers to get to those places. So yeah, I'd say that's how Cape Town's kind of helped me in that way.
I love that, you know, your photos, and obviously Ben Brown, who's down there, and Dan, and it's a beautiful place, man. I really love it. I can't wait to come visit. That'll be so epic, you know, come down there and
I'll show you all the secret spots. Definitely come.
But I'm curious to see how you feel about networking in the photography realm. So how essential do you feel networking is to your photography style, or is it just photography or that sort of thing?
Okay, well, I feel in terms of developing your style, I think the people that are around you definitely influence that, as well as the kind of people that you do follow on Instagram and who inspires you the most. But just for me, the people that I'm around definitely inspire my style. The kind of things you do, I think, as well, inspires what kind of style you'll have in the photography that you go into. And again, with the type of environment that you're in, like me in Cape Town, obviously that influences it. But then, like, in terms of a business standpoint, I guess, and actually like getting jobs from social media, I think that networking obviously plays a big role in the creative industry as a whole. I think the more people you know in the creative industry, obviously the more jobs you'll get, and it's just more exposure and the more people know about you, the easier it is, I think, just in my experience.
Definitely, I love it. Do you who down in specifically South Africa are you inspired by, and maybe even know, and who are some of your favorite photographers internationally?
Down in South Africa, does Ben Brown count? I can't say it was international, but in South Africa, I think my biggest inspiration for photos in Cape Town is Diary of Alex. Not sure if you know about him.
Yeah, I follow him.
Diary of Alex for me is the best photographer in South Africa. That's a big thing to say. There's a lot of very good photographers out here, but he's probably one of our biggest inspirations from a South African standpoint. And then internationally, there's just so many. Ben Brown, obviously, people like Andrew Kearns, who you've had already on the show. I was like, yo, I'm so honored to be on the same kind of show as Andrew. That's my goal to meet him one day. Then the typical ones like Casey Neistat, just encouraging people to get out and do more. Justin Escalona, Play the Game Films, don't know if you know about him, also a daily vlogger who inspires my style of vlogging very much. I love the whole cinematic scenes, and I've incorporated that into my own style as well, trying to like combine the adventure style of Ben Brown with the whole cinematic scene of Justin Escalona. And then who else is there? Gary Vaynerchuk, don't know if you know about him, but he is
I love Gary.
Gary is the most like inspirational guy to my life. He just makes me want to do things all the time. So Gary Vaynerchuk is a very, very big inspiration to my life. There's so many people that inspire me that like I can't even remember all of them now. So yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So which specifically, since you're a vlogger, you do daily vlogs.
Well, trying in the holidays, yeah.
Who inspired you to start that? Who inspired you to begin that? And then obviously Justin Escalona, you kind of you love his cinematic stuff, but who do you kind of look up to in that area of the vlogging world?
Who do I look up to in the vlogging world?
And then who kind of inspired you to start it?
To start it, people like Ben Brown, like again. Fun for Louis as well. Also, I used to watch him quite a lot back in the day. Obviously, with like creating a lot of content myself, I don't watch that much YouTube anymore, just because I'm trying to do things all the time. But definitely Ben Brown, Fun for Louis, Justin Escalona, Casey Neistat, the usuals, I guess.
Yes. Who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite right now?
Favorite right now, Andrew Kearns. Andrew Kearns, loving his stuff.
Yes. Oh, Andrew, I love his vlogs.
He's so genuine and just, love Andrew.
He's down to earth. One of my goals this year is to meet him and shoot with him.
Definitely.
For like an hour or whatever it needs.
However long.
He's so epic.
Definitely.
Okay, so when you're growing in your skills, because this, I think a lot of photographers, they want to get out there and do stuff, but they maybe don't know how to learn as easily as they could. So what kind of do you do to grow your skills, to push yourself, and to find new ways of creating content?
Just do as much as you can.
Whatever media that is, Instagram. Yeah.
Just get out and do as much as you can, experience as much as you can, like in terms of experimenting with different kind of styles, taking different kinds of photos. When I started, I was doing street style kind of stuff as well. It didn't really suit the kind of photographer that I am and I've developed into, but I went out there and I tried it, and by doing that I learned that it wasn't really my thing and it didn't really work in Cape Town for me. Not saying it can't work for other people, but that's for me. But like I said, you go out there and do as much as you can to experience all the things and then make an informed decision about where you want to go from there. And then also by doing all those things, you pick up tricks and tips and tricks along the way and learn things from other people that you're missioning with. And the more you do, the more you learn, the more you experience, the more you grow. Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's the best answer. I think experience is the best teacher that we have. Where do you see yourself in 5 years with your creative passions? Where do you see yourself going with it?
5 years, that's quite a long time. And I've set myself a goal to be, I think it was 6 years though, but to be at 500k by the time I'm like 27. No wait, that's longer. Sorry, my maths isn't good today. But okay, let's say five years time I want to be on 500k on YouTube. That is a very big goal, but takes a lot of work to get there, and I am willing to put in the work. I was trying to think of something else, but I can't think of it now.
What about Instagram? Where do you want to go with your Instagram?
Instagram as well. Just, I think the state of social media is changing so quickly. This is what I wanted to say as well. It's changing so quickly that you can't really predict how social media is going to grow and how it's going to change and what's going to influence social media, as well as new social media companies that are coming up, that will come up, that you don't even know about yet. So it's very difficult to try and predict a future in social media, but obviously I would like to grow as much as I can, and not in terms of how many followers and how many likes I can get, but as looking at from a point of how many people I can inspire, and just, yeah, inspire to get out and do something more than just looking at my feed wishing they could be doing the same things. I just want them to get out and do it themselves, experience it themselves. I always tell people, stop watching my videos, stop looking at my Instagram and go do it yourself. That's that.
I love that. I love that. Especially in these days, you're so right that the internet, it moves so quickly. So like 5 years from now, who knows? Like Instagram may not even be something we're on all the time, or YouTube, it could be something else. Although Gary, it's funny because Gary thinks, Gary Vaynerchuk talks about how Instagram will be around for a while and YouTube's going to be around for forever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you didn't think that you would be on Instagram as much as you are 5 years ago, or even Snapchat. Or Snapchat wasn't even invented 5 years ago, so that shows right there.
It's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a baby. All right, I love it. I love it. If you weren't a photographer or videographer, what would you be doing other than that? Would you still be in the creative world in some way?
Well, I am studying graphic design at university. Actually, it's a bit more broad than that. It's called, the degree I'm doing is called a BA in Visual Communication Design. So it's a bit more broad than just doing graphic design. So it covers photography and video and advertising, marketing, all that kind of stuff. So I guess if I wasn't doing photo and video, I would still be doing the more design, art kind of field. So I would be doing something creative. But if I wasn't doing anything creative at all, and I didn't choose to study design after high school, I probably would have been doing something like sports science, as I've been playing soccer for like the past 16 years and playing at a semi-professional and professional level almost. So yeah, that's what I would be doing probably, but I'm very happy doing what I am doing at the moment.
That's fantastic. What can you talk about the soccer for a little bit? I know it's not a creative thing, but like that's something you're passionate about. When did you get into that? When did you start doing soccer? I mean, 16 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, so I'm 20 years old now, so I was 4 years old when I started playing. So most people probably don't know this, but my dad was a professional soccer player. He played for the South African national team when they won the African Cup of Nations. So obviously he's been a big influence to my soccer career and where I want to take it. And that's obviously why he got me started at such a young age. It's because he's passionate about it as well, and that has just grown on to me. So yeah, I haven't stopped playing for 16 years, in and out every year.
That is amazing. Well, that's kind of like Ben, he had his kayaking for a while, so that's so cool that you've done this for so long. That's awesome. And it probably helps teach a lot of discipline when it
yes,
comes to,
definitely.
And
hard work as well.
Even when you don't want to go out there. Yeah, even when you don't want to go out and take photos, you still go do it because you're used to,
the routine,
working out or whatever, even when you're down. So, all right, so we're going to go through some like rapid fire questions here for people who just want to kind of get some basic information. What was the first camera you ever used?
A Nikon D500. I actually borrowed my grandpa's camera for about a year and a half before I bought this camera that's recording right now, which is the Canon 70D, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. I don't see myself upgrading anytime soon really. It does the job perfectly for what I need to do. But yeah, to answer the question, Nikon D5000.
Nikon, that's awesome. So is the 70D the best camera you've ever used, or your favorite camera you've ever used or had your hands on?
Well, I guess it's the best and my favorite, if that makes sense, because it's only the second like DSLR that I've ever used. I don't know if you want to count the iPhone as a camera. I guess you could, but that, and then the Nikon, and then this Canon 70D. So I guess it is the best that I've worked with, but it's also like the limitation that I have at the moment. So I haven't worked with anything better than this.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Favorite location you've ever shot at, and wherever in the world?
Okay, well, I have traveled parts of the world, but I only started Instagram, as I said, when I finished high school, and since then I haven't traveled the world or anything. So I would have to say on top of Lion's Head in Cape Town. That just gives you a 360 view of the city, of Table Mountain, and I've been up there numerous times for sunset and sunrise, and I've got to say sunrise on Lion's Head is definitely my favorite time. When everyone's still sleeping, you're up there above the whole city, the lights are coming on, the sun is coming up, it's just beautiful, everything's quiet, you can hear the birds chirping, it's just amazing up there.
Oh my gosh, second to Iceland, that's actually my number 2 location I want to shoot at, so it's happening soon, man. All right, best photography mission you've ever been a part of? So like an Insta meet or just a bunch of bros going on a road trip. What's the best photography mission you've been a part of?
Probably the recent road trip I just did, like a month ago. I went with my friend Matthew, Matty Snaps. Again, he's probably like in every second photo of mine. And then 2 of our other friends, we went up to the garden route, and I probably took some of the best photos that I've taken in my life or in my photography career so far. And it was just, not even just for the photos, it was a really sick road trip, and we all just had a really good time. So I'd say, yeah, the road trip that I did last month.
That's so exciting, man. Yeah, I really loved some of those photos that you guys had.
Thanks so much.
If you've read any, one book every photographer should read.
In general, like.
To be honest, I don't read that many books, I'm not gonna lie. But if I've got the Ask Gary Vee book, so that is something that, like I said, inspires me so much. So in terms of just life in general, I would say the Ask Gary Vee book.
Yes, I'm actually I'm halfway through that right now. It's a beast of a book, but it is fantastic.
Yeah, so good.
One place you have to shoot before you die.
Cape Town. Yeah, like I said, Lion's Head, you gotta get up there sometime. Or even just on the top of Table Mountain. Anywhere in Cape Town, to be honest, is amazing.
Alright, it's down on my list. What's one place you want to go?
Iceland.
And shoot?
Iceland. Sure, every single other photographer wants to. Yeah, Iceland is where I need to be.
Yes. Oh man. And then, what's the best Instagram comment you've ever received?
Comment? No,
that's just a compliment, or
that's probably somebody saying that I've kind of like influenced their life to a point where they want to actually get out and do stuff and live their life to the maximum, and that's exactly what I'm trying to achieve with my content, is for people to get out and do that. So yeah, I'd probably say a comment like that has probably been the most memorable to me.
I love it. That's awesome, man. Well, where can people find you? If for the few people who don't know you, what's your Instagram? What's your YouTube? So people can follow you around.
Instagram is at visualrev. YouTube is visualrev as well, or you can just search up Dean Tucker. It'll probably come up as well. What else do I do? Twitter is I am visualrev. Don't really use Twitter that much though. I go on it occasionally. Snapchat is visualrev. Yeah, I think that's all really. My website as well is visualrev.com, so you can find my blog post there, my portfolio, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's I think.
That's awesome.
Actually, one more thing before we go. Where did that originate? Where did the visual rev thing originate?
Well, I used to have my username as at Dean_Tucker, and then I saw all these people with like really cool usernames. I don't know if you know Costin is like a really cool street photographer, and Trash Hand. Back in the day I used to love street photography and follow all the street photographers. Now it's kind of changed to the more lifestyle, landscape, travel kind of stuff. But anyway, I saw all these people with really cool usernames. I'm like, I don't want my name as my username, so I needed to come up with something cool and edgy. So obviously visual relates to visual photography and video, all that kind of stuff. And then the Rev stands for Revolution. But at the time I also followed a photography channel on YouTube called Digital Rev. They've actually like let go of 2 of their presenters recently, which is quite sad. But anyway, they had their YouTube channel called Digital Rev. So yeah, I kind of just combined the visual and the rev, and it became Visual Rev. And that's that. Yeah.
I love it, man. I've always been kind of curious about that, and
yeah.
I think it's great. It's short. It's easy to Google and whatnot. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time. This is helpful for some people. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. I'll have to come down there, and that'll be
definitely
on a road trip or something.
Come as soon as you can. Definitely book your first flight here. I'll show you around. Cool. Thank you so much.